Science. How are you all doing?
I,
We're here. We're here to talk
I,
about
to- I totally wanted you to end that sentence with the B word, but I know you won't.
science. B. We're here for We Roguelike It ranking. This time for Into the Breach. I'm your host, Boston PhD. Joining me as always is Dr. Moon
Howdy.
and Monkey DDS.
Hello.
So let's do our normal sort of wrap up here for our game. Sort of talking about our final thoughts about Into the Breach and asking the big question we ask every month of will you keep playing it? Starting off with you, Monkey.
Yeah. This game is great.
Mm-hmm.
Like just starting with like the aesthetics of it, like the art style, the music, all the
Yeah.
even like the UI even, like all of it is just it it's so easily readable. Like
Yeah.
everything about it
Yes.
like I guess that's super important in this game especially because like it is a strategy tactical game, so you have to be able to read everything. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's everything about it is so good, and like that's outside of the gameplay itself, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
the gameplay for it is really great. It just the fact that it just gives you all the enemy moves, and it's basically a puzzle game each
Yep.
turn, like just giving
Yeah.
you a new puzzle. um and those times where you're like, I cannot find a way to not take a hit, and then you look at it a little bit more, and then you're like, oh wait, there is a way
Oh,
to not
it's
get
right in
hit.
front of me. Oh
And it's
man.
just like, wow, those times are super great.
Yeah.
For playing it more, yes, I've been playing it even this week, and I will continue to play it. I gotta get all those achievements.
Yep. Yeah, they're
Uh,
just right there.
yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah. I think I'm like halfway, or to get
Dang.
all the achievements. So
Nice.
Such a nerd.
Well, Moon, what are your final thoughts here on Into the Breach?
Well, I mean, the game has been installed on my PC since the day it came out, so that should
Mm-hmm.
tell you whether or not I plan on continue playing it or not.
Right.
Even if it's just a little flitter flatter here and there kind of thing, yeah, I'm just gonna do a quick drop, wipe out a couple of bug islands, same old, same old.
Yeah.
You are, I mean, Monkey's right. Like this, it's hard to objectively, subjectively it's easy, but objectively proclaim something as a masterpiece.
Mm-hmm.
Very difficult to do it. I honestly think this is a masterpiece. And
Yep.
I realize I just mixed up my sub and objectively's right then and there by saying
Man,
I think.
I do that every time.
But it's who would have thought that the guys who made FTL, which is also possibly considered a masterpiece,
Yeah.
would come out and make a similar but different enough game,
Mm-hmm.
and it would be just as good, if not better, than FTL.
Yeah.
It's strange to see a studio put two things out back to back, especially a small studio, to see them put two games out that just knock it out of the park so efficiently.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's difficult to put into words how good this is.
Mm-hmm.
I think the only thing against this game really is its game type, which I am not the what is it? The turn-based strategy person of this group.
Mm-hmm.
I think we know which of the two glasses wearers that is. I think it's Boston. Boston is the one.
Probably, yeah.
What's the Final Fantasy game that you like so much again?
Final Fantasy Tactics. Any of
There you
them.
go.
They're all good.
Never played them in my life.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah.
I'm sure Monkey. I'm Monkey. I'm sure you enjoy them to some degree.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure you're more like me, where you play more of the actiony kind of things.
more often than not, but yeah, I do enjoy my tactical games.
Yeah, but we're not giant nerds like you know who.
That's right. That's me. But I
Also,
think that's one of the interesting things about Into the Breach is, despite its appearances, it, like Monkey said, and it's something I've kind of said since the game came out, is it's really a puzzle game. It isn't like a traditional kind of grid-based tactics game where you're taking one turn at a time and you're kind of trying to position yourself to get the best advantages. You know what the enemy is going to do already. Like, you have all the information, you have all the pieces. You just got to put them together in the right order or the right way to kind of get the best advantage. And it's really well designed. Yeah.
it's a great game.
Yeah.
It genuinely is. Boston, I'm assuming you're going to keep playing it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's always been installed on my Switch, and every once in a while I'll fire it up and be like, yeah, let's do another couple of islands. Sure, why not? And then I play it and say like,
why isn't this on anything else?
Yeah, great. Probably
Yeah.
because there's only two of them. This game was developed by two people, just like FTL, and it seems like there's some
Baseline's
sort of
not busy. Come on.
well, it seems like there's some sort of resistance from them to give it to sort of a porting house to put on other platforms. I'm not entirely sure why, but like, give it to Code Mystics. They will put it out on everything else. Like, that's just
Give it to Iron Galaxy. Come on.
sure.
There's
I just like Code
7
Mystics because they did really well with Risk of Rain on consoles. Because Risk of Rain famously was a really hard game to port. So
what's the other one? Blue something that did the
Blue
Metal
Point.
Gear Solid.
yeah, Blue
Yes.
Point. Yeah.
Like there's like 3 studios.
So
with
many.
Yeah, which, I'm sure there's like 30 more that we've never heard of. Like, yeah, it's a real bummer because I would like more people to play this, and it's on sort of the two largest platforms, being PC and Switch. But it would be really great if it was on more stuff, including Game Pass. That would be super good. But yeah, I don't have much to add on top of what you guys said. I think it's just a nearly flawless game. I could probably say it's flawless if I had more time to put into it, but there's so much just like FTL. There's so much content in there that it's not suddenly like a third-person shooter. It's still the same game, but the way that every other squad works, and you can make your own squad, you can have a random squad, like there's all these super cool achievements for doing kind of unique and difficult stuff with each one of them that rewards you currency to get more squads. Like, it's such a well-designed game, and I love it. Into the Breach is great. I mean, if you haven't picked it up at this point, go do it. It's on 2 platforms, so hopefully more in the future. All right, let's get into the most important thing here. Let's figure out ranking. We're going to start here at number 15. Is Into the Breach better than the Legend of Bumbo Classic?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. Sorry, Bumbo.
Sorry. Yeah, sorry, Bumbo. You're having a rough time. Is Into the Breach better than Spelunky?
I would say yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one's an interesting one because I feel like both of these are classics, but for entirely different reasons.
For me personally, Spelunky is better, but also I'm pretty sure it's not going to stop here, so we might as well just say yes and move it on.
Is Into the Breach better than BPM bullets per minute?
I love BPM, but yes, Into the Breach is better. Also,
same.
BPM coming to Xbox soon.
Yes.
I'm so excited.
Yep, go play it when it comes out. It's real good.
Yep.
With that 4K.
Is Into the Breach better than Nuclear Throne?
Well, you can play it, and it doesn't punch you in the face for wanting to play it.
It doesn't hate you. Yeah.
Yeah. Pretty much nothing more to say than that.
Yeah. Right above. Is Into the Breach better than Dicey Dungeons?
I love Dicey Dungeons. I think it's so unique in the world of roguelikes. It's so good. The writing is quality in it. I think Into the Breach is a much more engaging gameplay because Dicey Dungeons it feels like it's that randomness of roguelikes turned up to 11, because you also have the randomness of the dice rolls.
Yeah.
Whereas
Yeah.
Into the Breach is like, oh, you made a mistake? Well, guess what?
That's on
It's
you,
your fault.
bucko.
It's on you.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, is Into the Breach better than Has Been Heroes?
We can officially take Monkey's opinion on this out of the equation after the
Right.
reveals that were had during that episode.
Number one super fan. Yeah. For me, I love Has Been Heroes. I think Into the Breach is better.
Yeah. Like, I like the fact that they're both kind of similar twists on the strategy turn-based
Yeah.
kind of thing.
Yeah.
And, like, Has Been Heroes is again really unique in the way it plays.
It's very clever.
Yeah, super clever. I just think that Into the Breach is better. Monkey, your opinion doesn't matter on this one.
Is Into the Breach better than Enter the Gungeon? Here we're getting to the real, the top 10, the heavy hitters here.
I love Gungeon. I genuinely love Gungeon.
Gungeon is.
I'm torn.
I would say Into the Breach goes over Gungeon.
Give me a reason, punk.
I beat it for one.
There you go.
I don't know. I guess it's just gut feeling. I thought I had some explanation, but then I just like went away.
I would agree with Monkey. I think Into the Breach goes over Gungeon. I'm like a Gungeon super fan, and I think Gungeon is really great. I think it's one of my favorite sort of action roguelikes. I think the variety of it's almost the polar opposite of Into the Breach. It is an action thing with about 100 to 200,000 different items that have synergies, and you're moving and you're dodging, and it's very skill based. And
it's got bad dad jokes, whereas Into the Breach is very much into its own reality, like super
right.
hyper serious.
Yeah, and Into the Breach is pretty much the opposite. There, it's a very cerebral puzzle game about time loops. Although I guess Gungeon is also about a time loop, but I think Into the Breach does. Yeah, I think Into the Breach does so much with honing its core systems that I think for me that's what wins out over Gungeon, because Gungeon is a great game and it plays well and it has no control issues or anything. I think it's an uneven experience. Sort of from a difficulty standpoint, and I don't think Into the Breach has any unevenness pretty much anywhere.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
All right, is Into the Breach better than Risk of Rain?
Yes, it doesn't lie.
That's number
Moving
one.
on.
Yep.
I do think as well. Yeah.
Okay. I'm not gonna fight that one because I kind of agree. Risk of Rain is good, and it's a good, like, out of the gate, like, you made a cool special thing on, like, your first try, but I think it from a system standpoint it may not necessarily hang with the rest of this.
The funny thing is, I've gone back to Risk of Rain recently because I bought it on the Xbox.
Yeah.
And I love it so much more on the Xbox than I did on the PC.
Yeah. God, it's so good.
Why?
Go play Risk of Rain, man. Is Into the Breach better than Void Bastards?
Yeah, I think so. Like, the structure, the flow of the game from beginning to end, I think is so much better in Into the Breach. Like, Void Bastards got unfortunately difficult at some points.
Yeah, talking about difficulty spikes.
Into the Breach is hard.
Yeah.
But it's kind of hard throughout, whereas Void Bastards is just like, oh, you died? Okay, you better jump back up 2 galaxies or whatever it is so you can start getting more stuff to go back down again, because otherwise you're just going to get whacked.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I think that's a really great point. Like, Into the Breach, island over island, has a very smooth difficulty curve. Like, it's still getting harder, but it's not impossible.
Mm-hmm.
All right, is Into the Breach better than Neon Abyss?
I really like Neon Abyss, and I like the fact that it references so many other roguelikes in its stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and speaking of bad dad jokes with its items as well,
Yes.
Neon Abyss has got a fair few of those. I think I'm not the biggest fan of the art style of Neon Abyss. I think it's good,
Mm-hmm.
but like just looking at the two games, it's like, oh, Into the Breach is like it makes me think of Front Mission 3
Yeah.
specifically,
Yep.
PlayStation,
Yep.
which I'm always down for Front Mission 3.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I
it
would
goes above it for me.
I would agree. I like Neon Abyss a lot. And I think that's a really solid game throughout. I think Into the Breach is kind of a tighter experience throughout. Like it's really hard to beat the design of Into the Breach from a sort of a pure gameplay perspective.
Yeah,
We do need to go back to Neon Abyss because apparently I think there's been like 3 or 4 updates
Yeah,
to
they-
Neon
Oh
Abyss.
wow, really? I didn't even know.
Like,
Time to install
yeah,
that again. All right.
from what the snapshot that we played, yeah, I think Into the Breach does go over Neon Abyss. It's just a better experience, better playing game, I guess.
All right, let's see if we can crack the top 5 here. Is Into the Breach better than Everspace? Praise be the gunship. Praise be.
all hail the gunship.
All hail the gunship.
Yep.
It's
Long
top
may
tier
he
for me.
reign.
Like, I don't know why I couldn't give you a genuine reason, but for me, it stops right here.
Mhm.
Like, Everspace is so good,
Yeah.
so good, and I did not
Great.
even think it would be that great. Like,
Yeah.
it's ridiculous how great Cyberspace is. Like, again, I was like talking about a game where it's like, oh, I got my eye on you, and then it just turned into one of the most quality like roguelikes I've ever played. With a story reason for going back, and then a further story reason for going back again, even after you
Yep.
beat the game.
Yep.
Like, it's so good.
What do you think? What do you think,
I was
Monkey?
about to bring up the time for each run, but then I realized like I've been doing like an hour and a half runs for 2 islands on Into the Breach, and there's 4 islands for a full run. I'm
Right.
like, oh wait,
Wait a minute.
Yep.
Oh, it. I think I would agree with Moon.
It's
It-
really
this is a-
close.
This
yeah,
is a
it's
tough one.
that's a
Yeah.
tough one. It's a really tough one, and I do think for at least for Moon, it's because it's a space shooter
100%.
game.
I will.
That's why.
Yep.
Hands in the
But-
air. It's an action-based space combat game.
Right.
I am down for that.
Can't go wrong.
But yeah, for me, I don't know. Like, I generally don't like those action space shooter like flight sim type games,
Mhm.
but even with that, like I do think Everspace takes it over Into the Breach.
Okay.
Even though I really love Into the Breach.
I would agree. This one is genuinely really tough because I think you'd probably ask me next week and it would have a much different outcome. But I think
Yeah. Like, let's face it though, that's the case with most of these. Like,
Mhm.
any given week, you could take two which are right next to each other and flip them, generally
Yeah.
speaking, and you would be justified in doing so.
Yep.
Like Void Bastards and Risk of Rain, 7 and 8.
Yeah.
One week it's flipped, the next week it's
Right.
back the other way, then one week it's
Yeah.
flipped again. Like next week we could all say, no, you know what, maybe it goes up one, and then the week after, no, bring it back down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm okay with this staying here at 6 because I think Into the Breach is really great. I if I was personally pushed, I would probably say that I would put Into the Breach over Everspace, and that's where it would sort of stop for me.
It ain't getting past Dead Cells. Like,
No, I think you look at like Dead Cells, Crypt, Hand of Fate, and Hades, and like it can hang with those, but I don't think it's going anywhere above any of those. Yeah, Into the Breach is just, it's great. It's a classic for a reason. It's just a fantastic game, and I think any that we're at the point now where this list is now 33 games long. So literally any of the ones in the top 10 that has Enter the Gungeon all the way up are classics, and they come with at the highest recommendation from us scientists. So we're sort of splitting hairs here between 5 and 6, but yeah, it's Into the Breach is great. Into the Breach is a classic. You should go play it if you're listening to the show.
So when are we going to publish our 1001 roguelikes to play before you die?
We got, hopefully we'll finish that list before we die, and if we do, here's the ISBN. Yeah. All right, so it's number 6 in our list, Into the Breach. Congratulations, In the Breach. I'm going to sneeze. Excuse me. Thank you. Congratulations, In the Breach. And right now we're playing Downwell, so stick around for the first episode of that. And we'll see you next run. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.